I was very angry as a child. I would yell and scream and slam doors. I hated life and the world and most of all myself, and I had no idea why, until I started the Heritage Project. My recent art journey has been about many things. It has been about invulnerability, which was surface level, about my poor relationship with my mom, which was momentary, about my family, which was only blame. Now I know my Heritage Project is all about me, which sounds selfish, but it turns out it was exactly what I needed. When asked about a transformational moment, I thought I didn't have one because my life was so average, because I thought nothing bad had happened to me to result in trauma. I was stuck here, partly from a lack of motivation or willingness to dig deeper. Once I did, it took only a 10-minute conversation with my parents to realize that my life wasn't as easy as I thought it was. Apparently, I was a miserable child who would scream and throw temper tantrums, saying that I wanted to die. I don't remember any of this. Most likely my brain's way of protecting itself. It took hearing this to reconsider the idea that I had no trauma. My parents gave me the suggestion to look into my brother's birth and its involvement, which I actually laughed at first, but almost immediately after, it began to make sense. The longer I thought about it, the pieces started to fall together. Things like how I used to hate when my brother got something I didn't, or how he got something that I did. That I would never want to be around my brother, or how I would get mad at him for little things. I think as a child, I associated my brother with my parents being stolen away, in a sense. I got less attention. Things that used to only be mine were also his. I was just over 1 when he was born, so all of a sudden, I wasn't the main focus of my parents' lives. I was filled with an incomprehensible anger and hate that ruled my life. So today, when I think about why I was so miserable, it was the fact that I was so petty as a child that I somehow vowed to hate my brother for the rest of my life. It's not that I would seek out ways to make him miserable. It was that I thought he deserved it for making me miserable first. I wasn't aware of this vow I made to myself. I know for a fact that my relationship with my brother drove a wedge between my family. And I was hit with a realization when doing the Heritage Project that while my brother being born may have been the starting domino to my trauma, I was probably also his. He was likely afraid and didn't know what he ever did to be treated that way, and I hate that. I hate the idea that I caused as much pain to someone else as I had felt. My heritage changed many things for me. Realizing why my brother acted the way he did allowed me compassion for him, along with his diagnosis of ADHD that gave me a glimpse into his life. Above everything, it made me realize that it wasn't his fault, and that I wasn't being fair to him or to my family. It also made me realize that there is a reason for why I am the way I am, why I have walls up around my brother, and how my trauma shaped me. Having a conversation with my family was the most transformative experience I've ever had. Their willingness to listen to my explanation of what I had been through, what I had learned doing this project, was the support I needed. Over the course of my life, I've been told we are not mind readers. So this conversation was my way of inviting my family into the inner workings of my brain and my thoughts. Letting them in was freeing in a sense. I trust my family above all else, and now we are closer than ever, putting our past behind us and moving forward in the future. No longer stuck in the same house, living in different worlds. Today, as a family, we are not perfect. We disagree and get frustrated, but we are more functional now than we ever were before. Our week-long fights and arguments don't exist anymore. Little things like conversations about our days and family plans became possible. We are now a family. My only hope today is that I've encouraged even one person to reach out. Extend the olive branch, not for their sake, but for yours. Forgive them for yourself. Thank you.